Hello again, everyone. Hope you're having a fine time of things. And I'll say again, as it usually is with these things, like, it's been a long time. And so it's been a long time for many different reasons. And I got a lot of stories, which is fun. I got stories for you. I got things to talk about and interesting things to get on. So this might be longer than usual. Obviously, you know more about that seeing the timeline on the video than I know right now recording this. But I got a lot of things to talk about. And we got some hefty media pickups over here. Lots of 4K. 4K I haven't had time to watch yet. But I'm going to do an update regardless, so I might as well at least try to fill in what I've been purchasing over these last several weeks. So what we got going on here on the channel, as this is the channel update, that obviously I just dropped the review for The Relic, the Peter Hyams film from '97, and getting up on that whole thing was, I don't know, it was just the fact that I had a lot of problems. I had certain problems in the post-production phase of things. I had some setbacks. I had some weird software things that were getting off. It was like, one day I launched Final Cut Pro, and I went to find the project, and it was completely empty. There was nothing left. I posted about this a few places here online and everything like that, but it's like, I open it up, it's like, there's nothing in the project. Where'd the damn thing go? I can't start over this. I can't do this again from scratch. I'm almost done with this thing. Where'd the fuck it go? It's like, I was driving myself crazy. I was close to having a freaking episode. And I was like, I was checking backups. I was checking this, that, and the other thing. Turns out that thing ended up in another event inside the library. So there's libraries and there's the events, and there's projects inside the events. Somehow the project ended up in a different event for a different video that I captured stuff for that I never did anything with, but it was just weird. And so I was like, okay, I'm getting all this stuff out of here and putting it in a brand new freaking library just to be absolutely certain. So I transferred and I got a nice fresh one. Everything is copied over, so I don't have any problems. If there's some problem with this library, I'm getting this all out of here and saving it right now. So that was a thing. That took a whole freaking night away from things. And just this, that, and the other thing, it was a process. It was just taking a long time to get the darn thing done. And so there are certain points where it's like, okay, like Thanksgiving, I just like, okay, I'm not doing editing. I'm not editing a damn thing. I'm just sitting down. I'm relaxing. I'm not going to put any work. I'm just going to make this a day for myself, and I'll get more into that later on. But the thing's out there. You can enjoy it. I'm very pleased by the entire thing. I came out very, very well. I'm very happy with it. I hope that you guys are happy with it as well. So, the only thing is, like, it's been annoying the hell out of me for the longest time with YouTube. Their compression quality is just getting worse. Worse and worse. They're compressing things down more and more. Obviously, they have to have all this massive storage for all the unknown quantities of videos they have on the service. But over the last year and a half or so, they've just kind of compressed things down further. It looks worse, especially with this video. It's like, man, this thing's just not going to look good with all this dark photography in the film. It's just going to look macro block the shit on the goddamn service. And yeah, I went back after I uploaded it and had it on Patreon. I went ahead and just kind of sat down and watched it. Usually I like to do that. Once I get it uploaded, I'll watch to just kind of proof it, make sure everything's fine. But it's like, yeah, all this dark photography and there's no great contrast to anything. It just really doesn't look good with the compression on there. Just like, I keep wishing, like, because on Vimeo, I have a Vimeo Plus account for the longest time. I usually use it more for my paid editing stuff, where I can upload it for clients and stuff like that, actor reels, stuff like that, so they can go ahead and do that. And it's a much more professional service. I really don't have to worry about content ID crap. So I use that. I have that, but with the Vimeo Plus thing, you along with a bunch of other features, you get enhanced encoding quality. You get better encoding than someone who has a free account. I wish they had that for YouTube, because it just looks terrible. The stuff just looks terrible. It's like, there's nothing I can do to make it look better. When I have the copies I have saved on my computer look vastly better than the ones that are converted when I put them up on YouTube. So they just compress the shit out of them, and just like there's nothing I can do about it. I just wish there was another option. If I could pay for, right now I have YouTube Premium, because they're offering 3 months free. It's like, okay, sure, I'll go 3 months free without any ads, and I can get YouTube Music and stuff like that, and all the other benefits, so I'll take that for 3 months for no pay. So I wish there was something added in there for, like, creators. You could pay for, like, a premium service where you get better encoding quality. You can probably get some specialized sort of just service, something like that. Extra features or other things here and there. Just something further. Because honestly, I'm not nowhere near anywhere, even close to anywhere the top end of the spectrum on YouTube or anything like that. But it'd be nice if there was an option for that, because there's obviously certain channels that probably would benefit so much from that type of stuff. So, like, for certain channels like me, I would gladly take the money from Vimeo Plus, which I barely have had a use for in, like, the last year or two, because I haven't had many editing clients for stuff. It'd be nice if I could, like, kind of take that money and kind of apply it onto YouTube, where I can have much more benefit for it all, that type of stuff. I wish there was a quality for that. I wish there was an option for that. That's something that I think would be a very smart business move. If you have all these creators, they want a better quality of service, better quality of encoding, stuff like that. I think that was a very smart thing, because there are certain creators that I keep coming across that have now kind of done their own sort of, their own platform in a certain way that's behind a paywall on another site. So I'm not going to start talking about that like I'm doing an ad or something like that, because that's not what I'm doing. I'm just saying there's certain avenues that they haven't explored that I think would be very beneficial to creators like myself to improve the experience on the channel, on the site, and stuff like that. So, regarding that, the coding quality of stuff, just like it's going down, I'm not happy with it, but there's nothing I can really do about it. So, hopefully that hasn't impeded your viewing, the quality of you enjoying what I'm putting out. So, I have no control over that. I put in the best quality uploads possible, and they compress the shit out of it, and it looks really poor. So, in regards to that, it gets on for the relic video onto other stuff. So let's step back a little bit. Let's step back, because I did the License to Kill video, and that was like me 2 weeks just Bond, all this Bond stuff, and like I rewatched Tomorrow Never Dies and Casino Royale and Skyfall and Spectre. So it's like I was just on that track, had to watch this stuff. And there was a certain thing, just slip it in here because it's not much of a thing anyway, but when I was editing the video and realizing various things I was making reference to in other Bond films, I don't have these films, I don't own these films on disc. And it was kind of a thing, it's like, okay, usually the guy I would go to get some random footage that I don't have would be my friend Oliver Harper, because he's done tons of Bond stuff on his channel, stuff like that, and I know he's definitely has the box set. I don't have the box set. But he was in the middle of moving house at the point in time, so like, I'm not going to pester him about it, because he's up on upheaval and stuff like that. And also Steve, commentary friend Steve Frazier, he was also in the process of moving into a new house, and he has the box set. But it's like, okay, well, I can't really get it from him because it's probably packed up somewhere and I don't have access to it, and I don't know when the heck we could actually meet up to grab the thing. So ended up having a fortunate thing that my old friend Jay Hunter of OSW Review, for you wrestling fans out there, after I posted something on Twitter about the whole situation, he jumped in and got me the footage I needed. I was kind of on a desperate sort of thing, because like I had a day off where I just like, I can really get this thing wrapped up today or something like that before I have to go back to work for the next day or so, or 2 or 3, where the case was. So it's like I was out hunting for things. I at least did find Live and Let Die, because I was talking about David Hedison, the whole thing, how he played Felix Leiter before. And so right in the middle of me doing this hunt, after I picked this up at one place, Jay said, here are the links, let me know how they look, stuff like that, and so on and so forth. So I did credit Jay in the video description about like things for stuff, and he said, you don't have to do that. I was like, I just want to help out. So Jay's a wonderful guy. I did some editing for the channel way back in 2014 when they were doing some ECW stuff back in that time, and I also did another video for him that you can find here and there. So it was one of their movie reviews at the time that I don't really, not a fan of the film. I don't need to ever watch another frame of the film, but it was the one Shyamalan film they did. You can go find that. I edited that. But 95% of it was myself editing it. Jay did some additional stuff on top of that and stuff like that. So regardless, we've had a connection from way back, and he jumped in and helped out. So I was like very favorable towards that because I could not find really good high quality versions of these clips that I needed for the thing anywhere else. So he helped out in a pinch there. So that was a good thing. But I was able to find that at Half Price Books and just like grab it, and it's like, okay, well, just trying to find a fail-safe, make sure when I could get stuff and get things going, just like I was a little bit in a desperate form, but good stuff there regardless. And so that was about it. I have not watched the new Bond film. It's like, once I got License to Kill done, it's like, I just got to stop cold. I'm just full tilt Bond right now. I need to move on. I'll get back around to it someday. Maybe I'll get a red box, or when it's not the $20 premium video on demand, it's more of a regular video rental type of thing online, I'll probably get into it at some point in time, but not right now. So there's that, and we got commentaries out. Finally, we got stuff for The Ring from Gore Verbinski. We got the Hellraiser one out. Hope you guys are checking those out and then finding time for them, because it was a very fun time doing that stuff. And we do have some holiday fare. We have some holiday stuff coming up, because there's a franchise we got to wrap up. We got to wrap up, baby, because we've been talking about this thing. We've been going on about it. We are doing Jaws the Revenge, because it is set at Christmas. And so now it's a Christmas movie. We get Michael Caine. We got wonderful stuff. We are doing this. We are doing this next week. We're recording commentaries next week for a holiday season. Me and Steve getting together. We're going to have a fucking great time, because we're doing Jaws the Revenge. And for the first film we're doing from a 4K disc for a commentary, we're doing Home Alone. I grabbed this up recently. They had it for... I got a $5 credit on Amazon when I had a Prime subscription recently for what... Because there's a banner on one of the things, like if you sign up for Prime and you watch like anything on Prime Video and stuff like that, you get a $5 credit, and had to jump through some hoops with the customer service to get it. But I used it on this thing, so I got it for a real steal of a thing. So this is brand new, remastered, stuff like that. They came out last year, I believe it was. And the interesting thing is that I picked up the remastered Blu-ray that came out, I believe, in 2015. It has basically the same artwork on the front. But when they did the 4K version, they did a further remaster on the Blu-ray disc inside this thing. So this is even a further value over what you might have gotten before. So regardless, we will indulge in this thing and have our 4K deliciousness of our cheese pizza and all these other great stuff. So more Joe Pesci. More Pesci. Got to have more Pesci. Haven't had any Pesci since Lethal Weapon. Nice to have a little Pesci. So me and Steve are going to be doing this and Jaws Revenge back to back. It's going to be fabulous. We're going to have a riot of a time, and we'll be sharing that with you in December here. So there's that. And so commentary-wise, there's that type of stuff, and we got the reviews coming up. The next thing I am easing myself into is covering that 2006 Miami Vice movie. So I'm just trying to take things a little slow this week, because I did have so much kind of stress dealing with the thing with the relic and having a lot of problems with it. I need to kind of decompress, slow things down a little bit. Probably watch some of these damn movies that I haven't had time to watch any of them. But I will be getting into that gradually. So that's the only, aside from the commentaries, that's the only thing I have planned for December. So that happens when it happens. I'm not rushing into it. There's a lot of work to do with it. I don't want to get overwhelmed with it, because I have to watch both the theatrical and the director's cut, listen to the commentary from Michael Mann, do a lot of other research on the whole thing. So it's a very involved thing. I want to kind of space it out to a certain degree. I don't want to do I'm just going to do this in like a day or two. It's not going to happen. So I want to kind of space it out, get a feel for it, and kind of let it simmer and get us all the type of stuff. So it's going to be a little bit more gradual build, but regardless of that, The commentaries will tide you over a little bit here and there. But as I said, when I was on Thanksgiving, I decided to just take the day for myself. And I wanted to sit down and watch it because I recently picked up something. I never upgraded the Lord of the Rings films on anything. I just have the DVDs. And I was getting into a thing. I don't know what even really sparked it overall. Just kind of started thinking about things here and there and stuff like that. And just like, well, I want to grab out the Blu-ray. These are the old fucking Blu-rays. The old ones with the theatrical cuts. I haven't watched the theatrical cuts in fucking ages. Like even longer. I haven't watched the extended edition in maybe a decade. This was even longer before that. Not since they first hit DVD. Because I didn't even buy those versions. I waited until the extended cuts came out to buy the DVDs. So I only bought those. And many years passed, and I was like, okay, I haven't watched the films in a long time, so I decided, this is, again, maybe 10 years ago. They had them on sale on DVD over at like Best Buy or something like that, so I just grabbed the theatrical cuts, but I never watched them. They just sat on the shelf all this time. So I was like, okay, well, I don't know if I have time to really sit down and watch the extended cuts. They're very, very long. These are long enough. So I figured, okay, let me see if I can get an upgrade. Go grab this at half price for $20. And I watched Fellowship. I watched Two Towers a little. I watched them all the way through, but I wasn't like always sitting in front of the TV, undivided attention. And they're really not good. They don't look all that good on these discs. There was DNR put on them. The encoding's not great. It's really, really bad. It's really not good. And really wasn't anything special or anything. I was like, because I was like, okay, the Blu-rays don't really look all that good here. So I was like, okay, let me just. I'm not going to watch Return of the King now because the Blu-rays don't look all that good. I don't want to watch this version. So I was like, okay, I decided on Thanksgiving I sat down. I watched the entire extended edition trilogy in a day, which I haven't done in like 17 years. And so it was an interesting experience. I just watched it from the old DVDs, but almost like a very well encoded DVD can kind of look better than a very badly encoded Blu-ray. With a lot of HD, a lot of DNR stuff on it, smeared over it. So it's like, I can work with this. So it's like, the 4K ones are too expensive for me right now. It's like, I'm not really jumping to kind of pay that much money for it. So it's like, I sat down and watched. It's like, I don't know if I really love the films. Like, I like them. I really appreciate them. I respect the hell out of them. But watching again, it's like, okay, there's certain things like, they do get a little loose with tone and after a certain point in time, where they kind of lean more into the humor stuff and kind of leave some of the more drama behind in certain places. Where the orcs seem to get progressively more kind of cartoonish as the trilogy went on. Whereas like, I can't really be like intimidated by them. Like, I know they're the bad guys, but it's like, I'm not scared of them like I was in the first film. So there's certain things here and there's like, they're a little loose with tone in some places or stuff like that, where I prefer a little bit more. They kept more of a serious tone in certain places here and there. In regards to what, I still had a fine time watching them all. I did break it up. After I finished Two Towers, I sat down and watched the first two episodes of Hawkeye on Disney Plus. Because I signed up on the Disney Plus deal where I got a month for $1.99. So that was fine. So I was like, this breaks it up enough where I'm not kind of overloading myself. It's like, once I finish that, it's like, I got like another 5 hours of my night with nothing to do. So here's Return of the King. So anything like that. So it was a fine experience, stuff like that. But those old Blu-rays just they don't look good. Those old theatrical cut ones don't look good at all. I know that the old extended edition ones, they put some weird green tint over like Fellowship of the Ring, and like some very, very obvious places they put a green tint that a lot of people really don't like. And now they made further color grading changes for the 4K ones that they can match the Hobbit films. It's very complicated, all this type of stuff. Like, I just stick with my fucking DVDs for now. Just stick with that. It's fine. It's fine. So anything like that, I need to get off on another track here. So I had a fine time doing that, all that type of stuff. So like I said, I had stories to impart on you and stuff like that. So it was a fun experience. Like, again, I don't really think I love them, but I appreciate them. But goddamn, those goddamn hobbits always make me want to cry. Just got close to tears, man. Just like, and even at the time when Return of the King came out, I was like, Sean Astin, give this guy a fucking Oscar, man, because he just made me feel it all so much. I think for Fellowship, definitely Ian McKellen, just like, he was on screen for like 2 minutes, and I was like, I want to give this guy an Oscar right now. Wonderful stuff. So regardless of that, so moving on. Getting into the much more 4K stuff. So I did, as I posted at a certain point in time, that I did we did have all the supply issues with Paramount getting the Scream disc out for the 4K edition, and couldn't really find the regular slipcase version, so I did obviously go with the Steelbook. And little short story here in a certain way is, okay, I finally decided to put the thing on, but I started having some weird problems on the TV. Not with the TV, it was the HDMI cable. Because with Dolby Vision and certain other things, the HDMI cable I had, which was technically a 4K cable, but it wasn't HDMI 2.1, which has further capabilities and higher bandwidth, stuff like that, I had to get new cables. Replace the ones I bought. I already bought like 2 months ago for the goddamn new 4K setup. But once I got the 2.1 cables, everything worked itself out and stuff like that. So when I first sat down to watch this, I started having green glitches in some places on the screen. It's like, you're freaking me out. What's going on? So I found out it was the cables, and I upgraded the cables, but I never got back around to really watching the film. I put it back in the sample to make sure everything was working right, but I never got down to really kind of sitting down and watching it again. So, kind of thing is like, I wish I meant to actually do that so I could give you kind of an assessment of the whole thing. But I can definitely tell now, especially seeing this version, because there's a problem with the cinematography with Mark Irwin, and he had a falling out with Wes Craven, who Wes Craven basically kicked him off the film, because when they ended up starting looking at dailies for the entire film, they saw a lot of stuff was out of focus. And you can definitely see that in this new 4K edition, there's a lot of soft photography. And I don't think it was supposed to be that way, obviously, because Wes Craven objected to the entire thing. So I don't know, Focus Puller was doing something wrong, or there was something else going on the whole thing, where it was just like a little too soft here and there. So that's probably why the old Blu-ray was sharpened to shit to a certain degree. So they thought that the thing looked too soft, too slightly out of focus, something like that. So you can definitely see that on this version of what little I watched, but it still seemed like a pretty good presentation to me. I had the Dolby Vision on, and I just thought it looked pretty nice in a certain way, but like, again, I haven't watched the whole thing all the way through to give that much of a thing for it. And I didn't even sit down and watch the new featurette on the whole thing, which is more kind of like a promo piece for the new film coming out. We'll see what happens on that thing. I don't know what's going on. So finally got that. But then we get into much more like getting into the Black Friday type of stuff. Right? We're not on Black Friday itself, but because Best Buy was doing like deals for the entire month, and the whole thing was like, if you have a My Best Buy rewards account, something like that, and if you buy anything between like now and Black Friday, if the price goes down anytime between now when you purchase it and Black Friday, they will refund you the difference. So it's like, fuck yeah, they're doing like $7.99 and up 4K titles. I grabbed some shit. I had to grab some shit. I grabbed fucking Alien. I haven't watched this stuff, but I grabbed Alien. I grabbed Die Hard. And I got Blade. These are the three that I picked up firstly on that sale, because the hell, I had to go to 2 different stores to pick them up. But I had to do it, and I had to grab them because I watched a little bit of Blade. And it's like, okay, the HDR doesn't go crazy or anything like that. It still has that nice, cold, stoic feeling to it, but I think it still aided the film very nicely with the HDR and stuff like that. And I was looking at comparison stills, like, man, the the clarity, the detail level of the old Blu-ray, which I think is still the same scan to a certain degree. No one ended up getting any further details from Warner Brothers about if they did a new scan or whatnot, but the assessment is that it's probably the same scan, but just shows a whole lot more off to it, but just a lot more detail, more color depth in a certain way. And I think they did a Atmos on. They did do an Atmos on this one. This has a Dolby Atmos track on it. It's like fucking Blade's the best shit, man. Just fucking badass. I just fucking love Blade. Blade's fucking awesome, man. I gotta check. I gotta wait Die Hard. I can't watch Die Hard yet. It's not Christmas yet. I gotta wait a little bit. And it's like, as I said in our commentary for Alien, the Blu-ray for Alien is like one of the best Blu-ray transfers I've ever seen, and I can't even imagine what I'm going to get when I watch the 4K one. Just like it's just even further beyond that. Like, I can't even imagine. But aside from Blade, all this stuff I think is all just HDR10. I think so. Maybe. I don't have to check on something else, but it's got that stuff. So I also got another John McTiernan film. Because I had to, because it's Last Action Hero. I had to get this. This was $10. And this one also has Atmos on it. It says Dolby Atmos on it. I think it's just HDR10. I don't know if it's Dolby Vision. It doesn't have a Dolby Vision logo on here anywhere. I didn't really check in any type of way, but they do have an audio commentary for John McTiernan on here, and additionals that they have deleted scenes and an alternate ending and the AC/DC video and featurettes. No one's ever put this stuff on here. Last Action Hero has always been bare bones. There's been nothing on the damn discs. There's been no commentary track recorded before, so it's fantastic. Sony actually put some goddamn effort into this, so I gotta check this out. Sony 4K remasters have been just impeccable. Everything I've ever heard about them, they're just top level stuff. They do an incredible job with stuff, so I can't imagine this thing not looking fantastic. I just can't see it. It was always one of those films like back in the pan and scan era. This was like the worst thing to watch on pan and scan. It was just like McTiernan shoots things so well in the anamorphic widescreen format, the cinemascope type of thing, that the pan and scan thing just absolutely destroyed it. When you saw this thing on TV, it's like the pan and scanning just would not stop in the film because he just uses the entire horizontal landscape on the entire frame so much. It was the worst type of thing. So I've had a widescreen DVD sitting around on my shelf for a very long time. I found it very cheap when it was a very rare thing to find. But fuck all, man. I got to delve into this at least a little bit. I don't know if McTiernan commentaries are super entertaining and whatnot. I think I maybe only listened to. I think he had one on Die Hard. I could find out in about 10 seconds here. He does have a commentary on Die Hard with someone else on the production there, but I probably haven't listened to that in 20 years. So anything like that. But he might have had one on Predator as well. I don't know. But regardless of that, the last things I did kind of grab up on this entire thing. I just grabbed up some Marvel stuff, which isn't much of a thing. I grabbed up Doctor Strange. I grabbed up Upgrade on Captain Marvel. They're like $12.99 a piece. Because, I don't know. I just felt like it. The copy I have of Doctor Strange for the Blu-ray, I bought off of SecondSpin.com, which folded maybe 2 years ago or something like that. Ended up had all the freaking weird stickers on it. It looked like it was old Redbox rental. And that drives me nuts. Every time I open it up, it's like, that kind of takes it out of me or something like that. But it's like, I threw on the one for Doctor Strange kind of a night or two ago, or 2 nights ago. It's like, it's not a whole lot. There's a few points in time where it's like, that looks a little clearer, a little bit more sharper, stuff like that. And it wasn't a big leap or anything like that. I wasn't getting a whole lot of value out of it from my viewpoint or something like that. But it's still one of the films I do enjoy. I got about maybe close to halfway through it. I decided to move on to something else. But it's like, it's still a fun film. I'll see with the Spider-Man thing, and now there's a Doctor Strange sequel coming out next May or something like that. So it was like nice to at least get a little little refresher and stuff like that. But I obviously, because a lot of the Marvel stuff is up-res from 2K, 2K upscaled to 4K. You're kind of not getting as much as you possibly could out of it, and stuff like that. But it's one of those things like they have the whole thing on Disney Plus now, where a lot of them being presented in their IMAX format, stuff like that. But it's kind of here, there, and type of things. I did finally sit down and watch Shang-Chi, Legend of the Ten Rings. I thought it was pretty good, a little uneven, but it had a lot of potential. I think it could have used a little bit more of a polish on the entire script to kind of get a little bit more even in a certain way. Because it starts out like a really nice, really kind of cool martial arts film. Then it turns into a family drama type of thing. Then it goes into full fantasy stuff at the end. So it's like, no, all the parts completely flowed in terms of style and tone and stuff like that. So it was still good. I still enjoyed it. I thought it was a nice piece of work and stuff like that. But wasn't perfect or anything like that. But it was still a fun watch. I definitely recommend it. And that's all I got for media pickups in a certain way. But just the whole thing is like, okay, I need to sit down and watch all this stuff. I need to absorb it and enjoy it and get into it. And I got some other things on the list here and there. I love the fact that Scream Factory just announced The Howling coming to 4K, because there was already the Studio Canal one overseas. It was like, I was saying in the Blu-ray news updates, like, it's got to come along somewhere, because either it's going to be Scream Factory keeping the license going, or it's going to go over to Kino Lorber, who are doing a lot of other MGM stuff, like Invasion of the Body Snatchers and Hannibal and Silence of the Lambs, various other things like that. So glad Scream Factory's keeping it in there. So that's coming out like 2 weeks before my birthday, so it's going to be out on the list. And I'll probably do a video on it. I'll probably do a comparison with the old Blu-ray and the new 4K Blu-ray transfer and stuff like that. I'll probably do one at the time. So maybe I get it. Maybe I buy it at the time, or I wait for someone else to buy it for me 2 weeks later or something like that. But I'll probably do it. I'll probably do a video on it, because I freaking love that movie. If you watch my Redux video on it from a couple years ago, absolutely love it. Joe Dante, fabulous type of thing. With as colorful as that film is, that the HDR is probably going to just be such a grace note over it. I think it's just going to look absolutely fabulous. It's a beautiful looking movie. I love it so much. I gotta get that so much. But that's kind of all I have. There are some other things, like, okay, I've had some things like kind of, I don't know, it's kind of packed into the back burner or something like that. Because there's a couple of films I watched on Netflix. They're Netflix original movies. I talked about them on Twitter, someplace here and there, where if anyone's following me there, regardless of this, something like that. I watched this film called Night Books because I love Kristen Ritter, because I love Jessica Jones. And she was promoting this at like the end of September, and I was just like, okay, let me just check this out. I didn't realize it was actually a movie. I thought it was like a series or something like that she did, but I finally sat down and I was like, okay, let me throw this on Netflix. I'm going to watch this, and I was like, man, this thing was so good. It's like a family horror film produced by Sam Raimi. And the thing was absolutely fabulous. I absolutely loved the hell out of it. The young kids in the whole thing are absurdly talented. Just wonderfully stuff. I thought Kristen Ritter playing this witch, she was absolutely fantastic. She loved every second of it. It was so delightful. The entire film was so delightful, but it had these great homages, because the director was so much a fan of like 80s horror and stuff like that. So like, there's definite homages to the Lost Boys in this thing. So I was like, right from the beginning, there's the whole thing's right on its sleeve. It loves this type of stuff. It loves all these other horror films, stuff like that. It's so bursting with love for the genre, passion, enthusiasm. It just wants to share that. It's a very clever story, playing with like fairy tales and stuff like that. It's like, I just really enjoyed it. I loved it so much. I even sat down when they're doing a Twitter watch along with the director. So it was like, I was sit down, watch it, or doing a Twitter thing and interacting. It was just a wonderful time. I just really loved it. It's like, I know it's past that sort of mood in the season, stuff like that, but I was like, It's so good. I thought it was so good. I thought it was absolutely wonderful. And then I watched, later on, a couple weeks later, there's a Mary Elizabeth Winstead action film called Kate. The sort of neo-noir, Tokyo set type of hitman thriller, hit woman thriller. And it's like, man, this thing was kind of good too. It was really, I thought she was absolutely fantastic in it. 100%. This is right after she did Gemini Man, then she did Birds of Prey, and then she jumped into this. So she was like in this action movie gear, and I thought she was fantastic. She was a complete badass, start to finish, and did so much good work acting in the film as well as doing fantastic action sequences. This thing had style, it had a wit to it. I thought maybe the story's not the most clever, not the most original type of thing. You've probably seen the beats before, but there's a lot of good stuff with a lot of good characters in it, a lot of good, just the inventive action sequences really did a lot. I love the pulsating score for the entire thing. It's like, it was so wonderful. I really dug it. I watched it twice. I thought it was really, really solid type of stuff. So I really enjoyed it. Had a great mood to it and different things. It's like really good actors. Woody Harrelson's in it as well as like a lot of great Asian actors who are in the whole thing, really putting in a lot of good quality to the whole thing. I really enjoyed it. It's like Mary Elizabeth Winstead is really goddamn talented. She's always been so good. It's like, okay, she shows up in like Final Destination 3 or The Thing prequel or something like that. She was always really goddamn good. Even if some of the films weren't all that good, she was always really good in them. So, I was like very kind of attracted to the entire film because she was in it. I knew she was really good. It was like doing an action film. It was just appealed to me. So, I thought it was good. So if you're looking for recommendations, check those out. Whichever mood you're in, put it up on your list. I really recommend both of them. I just had wonderful times with both of them. Night Books I just adored. Absolutely adored it. Wonderful. Definitely stuff. So guys, that's all I have at this point in time. Commentaries coming up for Halloween. Fuck. I didn't even watch Halloween Kills. Fuck that movie. I'm not even taking time out of my day for that. I just can't do it. Home Alone and Jaws the Revenge. I'll take time out of my day for Jaws the Revenge, though. Fucking Jaws the Revenge, because it's Michael Caine. You got Mario Van Peebles doing a fucking Jamaican accent half the time. It's gonna be fabulous. We're gonna have the best fucking time possible on this doubleheader, man. Awesome. I can't wait. And then I have to talk all about a fucking Michael Mann film. What kind of better time do I have? So, thanks so much, guys. Thanks so much for sticking around and enjoying and engaging and all this other stuff. Calling out to almost about 11,000. I can't do numbers. I think it's about 11,000 subscribers soon. We're like 10,008 right now. So we're getting there. We're getting up there. Keep climbing and doing great stuff. So thank you so much, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.